Okay, we're streaming. We're live.
Let's get chat pulled up. For all these people are going to want to watch us play a 31-year-old game.
Hey, people like this game though, right?
Some people do. Jumping sweet. Jumping sweat. Okay.
Okay, so today, guys, we're gonna try to be a little bit different and better people than we normally are. Be a little bit different. Because we're gonna try to actually do something vaguely interesting. Don't hold us to that.
Yeah.
Something, but you know, hey. Interesting. For one, we're gonna try to talk about something. But, you know, hey, anything that's not just the game.
Yeah.
For one, we're going to try to...
We realize that we spend too much time focusing on the game, which is why we're going back to one of the most basic games you can imagine.
Yeah.
Mega Man 1.
We feel that in the past we have had better luck talking whenever we're not playing something complicated that you actually have to pay attention to.
Yeah. So, conversation could go anywhere. We could end up talking about Mega Man and the... failure over time that Capcom experienced during development of newer Mega Man games. Or we could end up talking about LED light bulbs, or whether or not it's acceptable for somebody to go to prison for a certain crime. I mean, who knows what we could end up talking about.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much the sky's the limit.
Yeah. So, I'm Jeremy, Jump Bro. This is Shoot Bro.
Yep.
Caleb.
I shoot often.
This is Paul. Say
He's not a bro.
Yeah. So we're coming to you from the new office. Yeah,
there's not a lot going on here right now.
Jump Shoot Bro's office. We're just getting it set up, but
it's going to be pretty slick once it is in full, you know, anime poster and anime figure attire.
Yeah. It'll be nice.
It's going to be pretty legit. But
we've got a nice IKEA couch that also folds out to a bed.
Right.
And
with the intention of allowing people to come over and spend the night.
At the office.
At the office. Which is definitely not my house.
Alright, so I guess we can get started. I'm going to be playing Mega Man 1. But really, I think our plan is to play every Mega Man game. Every classic Mega Man game, and then roll into the X series. And I think the reason that we wanted to do that, for one, is to really just talk about how Capcom needs to make a Mega Man X7. That was the main motivation behind Mega Man.
I feel like that stopping at X6 and never making any more Mega Man X games was a real missed opportunity for Capcom.
It was a bummer.
Especially on the kind of the low note that 6 left off on. I mean, it would be really nice for them to just pick up and make an X7.
Yeah.
And you know, just do something interesting with it. You know?
Yeah. Yes.
Like maybe make a Mega Man game.
That's right. A real Mega Man X game.
Yeah. That would be a pretty cool thing for them to do.
And you know, I think that Mega Man X. You know, it was a fantastic game series. It was a game series that never needed to be taken into 3D, which is why they never did. They stopped at X6 and just didn't do that. So.
As Capcom knew just as well as we all do that didn't need to happen, and therefore it didn't.
Now, I'm going to diverge from most people when it comes to the Mega Man series. I like all the Mega Man classic games.
Okay.
A lot of people really don't like X7 and X8.
Okay.
I don't really know why. I don't understand what the reason is.
Wait, you mean...
No, it's 7 and 8.
7 and 8.
X7 and X8 don't exist.
Yeah, those aren't...
I'm going to have to change some settings. Hold on.
Well, hey, while you're changing settings in this real NES that we're playing on, I'm going to get another beer.
Okay.
Oh, hey, Jeremy, something that's not set up yet, but that will be soon, is that the office here is going to have a mini fridge that we can put the beers into.
Nice.
Be right here. The mini fridge is out in the fridge, or out in the garage right now.
In the garage. In the office garage.
Yeah.
Real quick, I just need to change some controller settings, but I don't remember how to do
Go to configuration.
Okay.
No, not configuration. Okay. Input. That would make sense, right?
Oh yeah.
And then user one binds. No, not configuration. Go down to user one binds.
Okay. Input user one. Okay.
Yeah, and then user one. Whichever one you want to change around.
Okay.
B and A, I assume, are what you're going to change.
Right.
And then hold on a second. Which one? Where's B? Where's A mapped currently? What is A currently mapped
to? Does it not say?
Well, no. I mean, it just tells the number of them. But I'm saying
X.
to you.
It's currently X.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember what A and B are. I know what I want them to be, but I don't know what they are on a standard NES because I haven't played one in a while.
Okay. Well, just make sure that you map A before you map B, because if you map B first, then you won't be able to get out of the RetroArch menu.
Oh, okay.
Since A selects things and B it does not.
Okay.
So just go ahead and map.
Okay, so I want that to be that. Okay.
Okay, then map B.
Wait, it says key X, right? That's not.
No, it's whatever you just told it to do. Don't worry about what it's saying. It doesn't know.
A and then B.
B is up at the top for some reason.
Okay.
No, it's whatever you just told it to do. Don't worry about
Oh,
what
whoops.
it's saying. It doesn't know.
What the crap? Oh, wait. Oh, I see what's happening.
You remapped it.
Yeah, but I didn't know it applied in the menu.
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Oh, wait. Oh. I see.
That's why you have to map A first, because if you map B first, and then you happen to map that over what the old A was, then you will not be able to select anything in the menus anymore.
Gotcha.
Alright, I'll be right back. Do you need another beer?
Sure. Gotcha.
Alright, I'll be right back. Do you need another beer?
Sure. Just changing buttons. Give us a second.
Yeah, he's a schemer.
Just changing buttons. Yeah, I got them backwards, so.
Oh, okay. Here, have a beer.
Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it. So B.
Oh, okay. Here, have
So I gotta do A first.
Yeah. I mean, probably. I mean, yes, as a good rule of thumb, you should do A first so that you don't accidentally put yourself in a position where you can't select things.
Gotcha. Okay.
Did you just map a turbo button?
Oh, whoops. Yes. There we go. And how do I, can I change that now?
Yeah, map it to something else. I mean, probably triangle or something.
Oh, whoops. Okay. Yes.
I don't know.
Alright, no.
That's probably fine.
And how do I, can I change that now?
Yeah, map it to something else. I mean, probably triangle. Got everything the way you want it?
Yes. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Playing some Mega Man. Okay.
Well, while you're playing Mega Man, I think I'll just pull out the guitar and strum a few chords.
Yeah.
See, this is the kind of new kind of content that we can do now.
Okay.
We can go very open-ended here.
Right.
Because I've got all my stuff here.
Yeah. All your guitar playing skills.
Yeah. So I got a classical. I got a classical song to play.
Is it in tune? Did you tune the guitar?
You told me it was in tune already, so
I said it sounded okay. I said it sounded okay. I didn't say it. Damn it.
Yeah.
This is what I'm gonna do. So you're gonna play an out-of-tune guitar, and I'm gonna keep jumping in the same hole over and over.
That's all I remember, guys.
So
haven't played guitar in like. Well, okay. Let me make it clear to you that I never learned how to play guitar. Okay, everybody needs to know that I never learned how to play guitar.
But you did have a classical guitar when you were a kid.
Did I?
Didn't? Is that not it? What did you have? Or
Oh, no, I bought this a couple years ago.
Oh, okay.
With the intention that of learning guitar, but then I realized that I have like so many other things that I do that occupies my time.
Guitar's not something you're just like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna pick up classical guitar. That's what I'm just gonna do that in my spare time.
Well, I mean, sure, yeah. I mean, you could if that was the only thing you were gonna do in your spare time.
Guitar is one thing, but like picking up like actual.
Well, I mean, sure.
you know.
No, well, you say
guitar.
that, but I mean, I don't know, man. I've read enough information online of people saying, yeah, you can start learning classical guitar. Like, that can be a starting point.
Yeah.
You just have to keep your expectations low for how impressive you're going to be at classical guitar.
True.
But I was thinking about, like, well, if I'm going to learn guitar, I would prefer to learn something that I'd actually want to play.
Yeah.
And, you know, if I was going to play guitar, classical would be what I'd want to play, you know? Because it's the only guitar playing I really respect.
Yeah.
You know?
Really? Like, you don't respect me at all?
No.
Yeah, no respect.
No. Okay, I'm just kidding about that. But I really respect classical guitar. It blows my mind.
I mean, it's super cool.
More so than anything else. So that's where my priority would be. But it's just like, you know, if I had nothing else to do, and I was like, yeah, guitar is gonna be my hobby.
Yeah.
I could see learning how to play classical guitar, maybe.
Yeah, it's a college major. Like, it's not, you know, classical guitar is not just like this thing that you do on the side.
Right.
Usually, it's like, you know, if you play guitar on the side, that's one thing, but playing classical guitar, actually like classical music, is not something that you just lightly take on.
The cool thing about it, though, was when I bought it, I was like, well, hold on. Can I play normal guitar on a classical guitar? And everybody was like, yeah, absolutely. And they also said, you have large hands.
Strumming on a classical is different, though, because the nylon strings aren't the same as strumming on a...
Right, yeah, but they said the websites and stuff I was reading were saying that the classical guitar is actually a really good starter guitar because the strings are softer.
Right.
So it's less hard on your fingers whenever you're first, like when you don't have calluses and stuff for it. So it actually, as a platform for learning, it's actually pretty good.
Another good platform is manning up and just taking it.
Well, sure, but I'm just saying that, you know, practically speaking, it is like going to be easier to play for longer periods of time when you don't have your fingers conditioned for it already. Yeah. And that's cool, but also the fretboard is obviously much larger. The strings are spaced out more, which can also make it easier for people with giant fingers like me to learn, because I don't have like all the, you know, finger reflexes and whatever. I don't know.
Finger reflex.
Well, you know, like, yeah, I mean, like, I do not have precise finger movement because my fingers are giant and it's hard to maneuver these into small spaces. So I do not have precise.
Oh, nice. That was a double kill, but I was still in iframes. I hit him just as he was throwing his scissors at me.
Oh yeah.
So if you interesting thing about this game, two interesting things. One, I'm terrible at this game. Mm-hmm. So if you've ever seen me play another Mega Man game that I was okay at, this is not one. But two, in this game, and only this game, before you can finish the stage, you have to grab an orb that drops to the center of the screen. Okay. So you can still die after you beat the boss.
Oh.
Yeah, so if there's still like a weapon on screen or something, you still have the opportunity to die before you finish the level. Okay. That's all I was going to say. So I am going to kill myself off a couple of times here because I want to have full lives going in.
Okay.
So anyway, back to the guitar though. I mean, I like playing on a classical guitar. Because it's a little bit easier, more spacious. It makes sense to be a beginner guitar. I think a lot of beginner guitars, or I'm sorry, when you take like guitar lessons, they'll have a classical guitar as the practice guitar, because it is easier for kids to pick up and play and things like that.
Right.
The thing about the calluses, you know. You gotta build the calluses anyway, if you're gonna play guitar.
Right. No, I understand.
If you dive right in there with super sharp strings that cut into your fingers, that's just that much faster.
Right. It's just that, like, if your fingers are getting cut up and you're like, well, fuck, I don't want to play anymore, then that's just less time that you're practicing, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I got that.
I mean, if you're bleeding out of your fingers all the time.
I wasn't like super you know, as far as my guitar playing skills, I'm not that great.
Mm.
But when I was like on the verge of learning something new, or I was really getting excited about something because it was all coming together for me or whatever, I didn't care how sore my fingers were. Like, I was just like, I'm going to learn this.
You know, sometimes some people are little bitches, though, and I'm one of them. So to me, it was just like, well, yeah, hell yeah. It sounds like this is the way to go. And of course, you know, if you're going to play classical, if you intend at some point to play classical, it probably makes sense to have a classical guitar.
Sure.
So that was all my reasoning.
Okay, notice this. Something I didn't remember about Mega Man 1. Do you see this ice physics shit that's going on?
Yeah, there's a little bit of a...
you move like a full
overshoot.
tile.
Yeah.
After you stop moving, you move like a half a tile at least.
So is it safe to say that Mega Man is kind of shit?
Oh yeah, this game sucks. I don't hate it. No, I don't hate it. It's actually fun. But as far as, you know, classic Mega Mans go, it would be number 6 on my list.
Okay.
From 1 to 6. You know, not counting 7 and 8 as classic Mega Man games.
Right, because SNES.
Right.
SNES and PlayStation.
Yeah. And I love those games. Honestly, I would rank those 2 games much higher than this one.
Hey, well, how quickly did you say they developed 8? 7?
3 months.
Wow.
3 months.
That's pretty good.
They had no assets for it either. It's not like they pumped out another NES classic Mega Man game. You know, they just reused all the assets in these games. But,
right.
But
I can only assume that most of the groundwork of the engine was already there because of Mega Man X, and
maybe, but it's
they probably just retooled the. They probably just
the
retooled
gameplay and the graphics are nothing like Mega Man X, so I don't know.
Well, but the engine that runs it was already there. I'm sure that they were like not from scratch developing how everything was going to be rendered and like how the physics of everything were going to work. They probably just took what was already there and tweaked it to match what they were wanting.
Right.
I mean, a 3-month development cycle, that's insane. Like, there had to have been, like, some assistance from the fact that they had developed X shortly before.
I wonder if it was the same team that developed X as 7, though. Because
well,
it's not the same people that created the... Oh, okay, you're just saying that
it wouldn't matter. It would all it would matter is that Capcom would have a running, functioning engine and knowledge of the SNES already because of it.
So here's a trick. Here's a glitch that I'm going to attempt to pull off. 3 beers in.
Mm.
There we go. Okay, so what I did there is I'm climbing in the air, not really on the ladder.
Right.
If I push up. Oh, whoops! I wasn't quite where I need to be. You have to push down and shoot on the same frame. I did this earlier today, by the way, in preparation. Here we go.
Okay.
Okay, so it throws you into the wall.
Mm-hmm.
So the magnet beam, the only way you can get it is to have Gutsman's weapon and barge through those walls, pick them up and throw them.
Sure.
So I'm going to attempt to get it without doing that. However, if you get stuck in that little box where the magnet beam is, you just soft lock the game because there's no way out and there's no timer or any way to die.
Right.
Like you're completely soft locked at that point. So
okay.
R for remember. Okay. Let's try that. I'm gonna see if I can do this first try. Okay. Nice.
Okay.
First try. Didn't even need a save state. Sweet. So I have the magnet beam now, which is the best movement item in the game, or the only movement item in the game. This was back before Rush and all that stuff, where there was like, Rush Coil where you can jump high and Rush Jet and all that stuff. The only movement in the game is the magnet beam, and it creates a platform in the air where you can walk across gaps and stuff. Really nice. Oh shit, I forgot about that. Really nice for other stages where there's like crazy shit going on. You have to go across a pit by some, long drawn out invisible blocks types of means. You can just skip over it. So
well, that's nice. Well, okay. So on that note of the controls and stuff that you just did to make that happen, we got a question for you, Jeremy. As far as playing this game on a real NES versus playing this game on a real NES as we are right now,
I've not once ever in my life played this game on a real NES. I gotta just say that out loud.
Okay, well, where have you played it aside from here on this RetroPie?
I've played it on. I may have played it at a friend's house on an NES, so I might be lying a little bit.
Do you have it in like a compilation disc, or do you have it on your
Mega Man
Virtual Console, or
the Mega Man Legacy collection from? Not Legacy, no, that was the newer one that came out. The Mega Man Anniversary collection that came out on PS1, PS2. I mean.
Okay, so you've only ever played this game on a PlayStation controller.
I've only ever played it emulated, yeah.
Right. No, I'm asking specifically controller because I'm curious about what the difference is in experience of playing classic Mega Man games on NES controllers.
Oh, no. I've played tons of classic Mega Man games on NES, not this one.
Okay. Well, that aside, then, what is your opinion of playing these classic Mega Man games on a PlayStation controller rather than a real NES controller? Is there a difference?
Mega Man, I can't tell a difference. Mega Man X, huge difference.
Okay.
Huge difference.
Of playing on a Super Nintendo controller versus a
PlayStation controller, yeah.
Which one do you prefer?
A Super Nintendo.
Okay,
for sure.
I figured.
But that's because that's what I grew up playing it on. I didn't play a lot of Mega Man Classic games when I was a kid. I played Mega Man X games. Okay. I played them on the SNES. Then as I got older, I got the Legacy or the Anniversary collection. Started playing classic games. I did have Mega Man 4 when I was a kid on NES. So that's the one I'm most familiar with. But I'm most used to playing Mega Man Classic emulated in one form or another, legal or not. That's what I'm used to playing it on. So I can't tell you. I'm sure that people would say that the NES was better. I haven't played a game on an NES and I don't know how long.
Well, I just wonder because like the NES controller is kind of. Well, I guess it really comes down to what the D-pad is like on the NES controller. I haven't played an NES controller, an NES game on an NES controller in so long. I don't even know what they're like,
right?
To be honest.
I remember as a kid liking the shape of the controller. It wasn't uncomfortable. It's a big rectangle. I mean,
yeah, but button positioning is so dumb.
Oh, it is. I mean, it's not ergonomically designed in any way, but that's all we had back then. So.
Well, yeah, I'm just curious because, like, the PlayStation controller's D-pad, I think is fantastic. But in your opinion, what's the issue with the Super Nintendo, with the PlayStation controller versus the Super Nintendo controller for playing X games? Is it the D-pad or is it the buttons, positioning and stuff?
It's something about the buttons, and I don't know, honestly. It seems like they're not as reactive on a PS1 controller or a PS3 controller or whatever as they are on the SNES controller. Like I can't mash as fast. Like I can't like jump and slide as fast.
Okay.
And I don't know what it is that causes that. I just don't feel as comfortable playing a Mega Man X game.
Well, how fast can you jump and slide on the Circa controller?
Yeah, see, I haven't played on the Circa controller. Now, the old school is not a half-bad controller.
No, that's not half bad. Hey, one of these days, I promise you guys, I'm going to put up a video where I can do an in-depth teardown and breakdown of all the shitty Super Nintendo knockoff controllers. And that is going to be a pretty good video, I think.
Yeah. And Caleb's going to play Iceman's level, because I'm going to go to the bathroom.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to fail to complete Iceman's level for sure. I don't even know, how do I...
Oh, you were on it, and you just push, yeah.
Oh, start. Okay.
Square is shoot, and X is jump.
Okay, cool. Jump and shoot. Good thing I've got both of those down. Alright. Well, I've never. Oh my gosh, this is atrocious. This might be the worst ice physics I've ever experienced. But anyway, I've never been a Mega Man, so to speak. So this is probably not gonna turn out too well. Oh man, this is a nightmare. Anyway, yeah. So as far as my controller breakdown, I'm desperately trying to find a good Super Nintendo controller substitute because I'm aware, as I'm sure that most people who care about the Super Nintendo are aware, Super Nintendo controllers are a finite resource, and they really are kind of, you know, they're special. You know, you can't just. Oh, that was awful. You can't just get a replacement for a Super Nintendo controller. I mean, there are so many options, and all of them are shit. And I bought like probably like 10. Well, okay, realistically, probably like 5 or 6 different varieties of Super Nintendo controller clones, and it's tough, man. There are just not very good options out there. But my plan is to actually like take the controllers and do like a detailed like teardown and analysis of what's wrong with them. Mostly it comes down to D-pads. That's usually the biggest problem. Also, there's a big problem with the membranes used on the buttons. For some reason, they modern membranes are like way too stiff or something. And you know, I've been led to believe that some people actually prefer that stiffness, but I just don't get it.
Who are you talking to?
Huh?
Who are you talking to?
Oh, you know, just the people on the TV.
All right, so how you doing?
This is awful, Jeremy. This is atrocious.
Have you game overed yet?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
No, I haven't.
You haven't?
I died once.
Oh, well,
this is the second time dying.
Yeah. You want,
there you go.
You don't want to play anymore?
Fuck no.
Okay.
That's bullshit, Jeremy.
Okay, alright.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get another beer.
All the beers.
I was just telling the good people about,
Is the Poncho's dip still out, or did you put it in the fridge?
I don't know what I did with it, to be honest. Paul? You sound like you want to go out.
So, our sister's watching anime in the other room. Apparently some serious shit's going down. Is this about how it looked when Caleb was playing? I don't know. He could be a Mega Man master. I'm not very good.
Did you want some Poncho's dip?
Yeah, you can bring it in here.
There you go.
That's why I got it. What's up?
How's it going?
Alright. Not a pro with a magnet beam.
Defeated the Ice Man yet?
It's getting there. I'm getting there. The magnet beam is the worst. It's the only movement option that you have in this game.
Mm-hmm.
It is absolutely the worst movement option in Mega Man history.
Okay.
Because it's the only one, it's the best one in this game. But I hate it. I'm just gonna do this. Hopefully I'll... Nope, I just blew it. Just blew it. I blew it, Caleb.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. You want to do this invisible block section?
No.
No?
Nope.
I thought you liked disappearing block sections.
Can't imagine why you would have ever thought that.
I don't know. I was just hoping that you would despawn the enemy down here, so that's nice. I don't have to deal with that shit. Here's some fuzziness.
Yeah, I figured I would check and see what the audio sounded like. Turns out,
bad.
It's an absolute nightmare.
Oh no. Why is that?
I don't know. So here's the thing. When we stream, the audio is always terrible.
Right.
But whenever I podcast with this same microphone, there's never a problem.
Right. So what's the deal?
I don't know.
So I'm just digging around till you figure out what the problem is here.
I mean, there's literally no reason for you not to continue playing the game.
I mean, that's true. Okay, fine. Well, now I'm just fucking up, so how about that?
Okay. Let's see where we're at now.
Mother fucking hell.
I wonder if maybe the issue is OBS.
I don't know.
It's weird. It's weird. Well, nobody's watching, so that's fine.
Yeah. One person's watching. Who's that?
It's us.
It's us.
Okay, that's weird. Alright, well, you know what? This doesn't sound too bad.
No?
Yeah, it's kind of okay now. How's that going over there?
I don't know how to do this section.
Oh, really?
I'm just fucking it up. Well, I got past the next section, then I died, and then now I'm back on this section that I didn't actually play the first time because I didn't have to. Because I used the magnet beam to skip it. I can imagine being a kid, playing this for the first time and being like, this is the dumbest shit. Why would you play this game? Because literally every other Mega Man game is so much more fun than this one. I would have to rank this at number 10 in my favorite Mega Man games.
Number 10. Oh, you know what? It is OBS. OBS has been the problem this whole time. Man, what a disappointment.
So OBS is giving us problems, huh?
Yeah. Weird. Okay. Well, hey, it's good now though. It's not crackling like crazy, but the beginning of this
Okay, so I'm pretty happy about that.
the beginning of this stream was pretty terrible. So, yeah. Okay. Alright.
So I'm heading off to Iceman now.
You know why I think that there's not a problem whenever I do podcasts, but there is a problem with the stream?
Why is that?
Because whenever I do podcasts, we always use Discord.
Mm-hmm.
And Discord has an automatic audio gain that it applies constantly, and so it like automatically adjusts the audio continuously as we're going. So apparently, where OBS is just peaking us like crazy,
right?
Discord is like automatically fixing that, so nobody ever knows that the gain settings and stuff are way out of whack on my microphone because it just just Discord just takes care of it.
I don't know if you just saw what happened.
Seemed like it went pretty quick.
Yeah. So there's an interesting exploit in this game, and I wouldn't call it a glitch as much as just like an oversight maybe by the developers. When there's 2 pause buttons in this game, and I think this is the only Mega Man game that has start and select both as a pause button. Start opens the menu.
Okay.
Select just pauses where you are, but while you're in the select pause, it cancels iframes. Like it just starts the iframes over. So you can throw one weapon at somebody, and while the weapon is still in their hitbox, you can just hit select over and over. And just,
oh wow!
Yeah. So
that's definitely a speedrunning strategy.
Definitely a speedrunning strategy, but something that's so easy to do. It's not even like a complicated glitch.
Right.
It's just a simple thing that you can do.
Yeah. Wow, that's a major oversight.
Yeah. But I mean, I wouldn't call it a glitch because you're not doing anything specifically to like. Oh, I guess it is a glitch, but.
Wow. No, that's just a major oversight. I mean, it is a glitch for sure but it's just like a.
Surely it wasn't intentional.
No.
It wasn't intentional by the developers. Like, hey, let's put this in here that somebody can end a boss battle in 2 seconds.
Yeah, I'm sure it was just something that they didn't think of the ramifications of programming it a certain way.
Now, there is all kinds of glitches and zips and crazy stuff I can do in this stage. I'm not going to do them because I don't know how. I mean, I do know how, but I haven't practiced them, so I don't know if I could pull them off.
So wait, okay, so you said which pause causes iframes to cancel is the one that just...
Select. See what I'm doing now? Compared to... like if you get knocked back... Here, let me... Because I'm going to die on purpose anyway. See how you... See, it cancels my knockback animation as well. So like if you're... See that? I would have gone back 2 more tiles, shaking around and being retarded. So,
well, but you still had flashes. Is that not the iframes, or?
Well, the enemies is different, I guess. But I mean, like you saw what I did.
Yeah.
I threw one weapon out there.
No, I didn't.
And just hit select a few times.
I didn't
you didn't
see it.
Okay.
I wasn't looking.
Well, anyway, it does some interesting things. Like that would have knocked me in the lava had I not done it. But I stopped myself beforehand.
Wow, what a strategy.
Yeah, see that? Just drop straight to the ground instead of continuing to go backward. Alright.
Man. They really built this game with these kinds of things in mind. They really just wanted high skill players to figure out the select button as the cure-all to all potential problems.
You'll see it again when I fight Fireman here in just a second.
Okay. Is this how you're just going to beat all the bosses?
Once you get Elect Man's weapon... Actually, I kind of did on Elect Man too. Once you get a weapon, you can't do it with the Mega Buster. But once you get a weapon, you can do it with everybody.
I see.
Yellow Devil, hardest boss in the game. You remember who the Yellow Devil is?
Nope. What are you talking about? I don't know anything about Mega Man.
He's in several Mega Man games.
Is he in X4?
He's in X5.
I haven't played X5, Jeremy.
He's like the Shadow Devil or something, but
Jeremy, you know this. I've only ever played X4. It's the only Mega Man game I've played in any length.
Okay, so he is in X5, not in X4, but
is he in X?
He's in the Power Fighters. We played that once.
Yeah, I didn't play.
But you watched me play, so you saw the.
I wasn't paying attention.
So anyway, Yellow Devil, he's like this big blob creature that separates into several pieces and flies across the room for hours at a time.
Okay.
And they're nearly impossible to dodge unless you're just perfect. But you can just throw one weapon at his eye before he has a chance to separate and just do the select thing over and over and he dies.
Okay. Sounds pretty exciting. This seems like a really lame version of you know, what's his face's place. You know the one.
Flame Mammoth?
Yeah.
Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah.
Or Magma Dragoon.
No. I don't know anything about Mega Man X4. Come on, Jimmy. The only thing I've ever played is Mega Man X on DOS.
Right. Oh boy, so we had some good times with Mega Man X on DOS.
Yeah, it had some pretty sweet MIDI soundtrack that was really
for real
odd. But yeah, you know, Mega Man X on DOS, not bad. Pretty good port,
Not
I
good.
would say. I'd say as ports go,
as DOS ports go.
I mean, as ports in general go, I would say it's pretty much the best one of any game
The best
in history.
port ever.
It was pretty solid.
Dude, that game sucked.
You know, X on DOS and X4.
I don't know why I went through this misery when I could have just done this.
Oh, you know what? When you think about it, I've had such an odd Mega Man experience because the only Mega Man games I've really ever played are Mega Man X on DOS and X4 on Saturn, of all
Right.
things. Like,
so you got the far superior background motion.
yeah.
Of
But
the Saturn.
but yet the one that was not capable of transparencies, so
Right.
it had like weird just
checkerboards.
checkerboards everywhere.
Yep.
Oh, the Sega Saturn! What a wonderful thing! I love that machine.
Wonderful it was.
It's just such a quirky, odd machine, and it's great.
Such a quirky, odd alternative to the PS1.
Oftentimes, you know, arguably, you know, touted as the best game system ever made.
The best?
the best
No.
2D game system ever made.
Okay, alright, well, okay, I don't know about
The most powerful 2D game system ever made. I think that's pretty safe to say.
Probably. And for a game that was, or for a system that was specifically tailored to 2D, yeah.
Games, I mean, as far as architecturally being built to render two-dimensional graphics, which is something that is pretty much, after the Saturn, not done anymore in gaming history. Yeah, it's pretty good. Wow, this is really effective. Man. Is there even any point in playing the game at this
No,
point?
that's part of the reason why this game's not that much fun, because it is extreme. The levels are difficult.
Uh-huh.
The bosses are nothing.
Wow. Anyway, my point is, the Saturn. It's
And I blew that too. That was the worst execution possible.
You know what I'm saying, though, Jeremy? The Saturn. It's pretty good.
It is good. It's a great system.
The thing is, as far as like a traditional 2D, like the conventional wisdom of like how you render 2D games,
Mm-hmm.
the Saturn is like the pinnacle of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the most powerful Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Like architecturally, it's very similar to the Super Nintendo in how it renders scenes.
Sure.
But it's just like the most powerful version of that ever was made. And then, although there's arcade hardware that was more powerful, like the Taito X3 system and the Capcom CPS3, both incredibly powerful machines. But
Did they run Soul Calibur?
those were arcade. No, they were 2D. Jeremy, they were 2D machines.
Oh, Soul Calibur was Dreamcast, wasn't it?
Soul Calibur in the arcade was PlayStation 1 based.
Oh, okay.
It was a Namco system. I can't remember which one. System something, 20 something, I think. System 20 something, I believe. So what?
I said up and down. I don't know.
Yes. Anyway, yes, that's the one.
The system is down.
Yeah, so in the arcades, Soul Calibur was a PlayStation-based game, but whenever they finally brought it to home, they didn't release a PlayStation version. They went ahead and did like an HD remaster of it on the Dreamcast, and it was that was an excellent move.
This guy fucking, what the fuck? Okay, thank you.
That was a really excellent move on their part, because the Dreamcast version of Soul Calibur is clearly the best version.
Very good.
Of Soul Calibur, and spectacular, and anybody can have it that can download and burn a disc, because the Dreamcast is basically has no copy protection. I mean, that's not true. That's not true. The Dreamcast does have copy protection, but it was defeated so handily and so quickly that it's a, hey, that's an interesting topic. The Dreamcast, often considered to not have copy protection at all, in fact, did have copy protection, which was never defeated. Actually,
okay,
that's a lie. It was defeated. There were mod chips made for it, but like nobody had one because you didn't need one.
Okay, so how can you so easily copy Dreamcast?
So here's the deal. Sega, whenever they released the Dreamcast, they also came up with this new concept for CD-ROMs, where you may notice the Dreamcast uses a special disc called a Gigadisc.
No.
Okay, it uses something called a GD-ROM, a Gigadisc ROM, rewrite or read-only memory. And the GD-ROM is basically a CD where they crammed more. They basically just used a CD laser and disc, but they crammed the tracks of the disc closer together to fit a gigabyte on there. Well, actually, it's like 1.2 gigabytes or so, instead of the 700 megabytes of a standard CD, right? So it's just like a CD with slightly denser, mastering to cram more data onto it. Which in and of itself is difficult to deal with because a regular CD drive has trouble reading it. But the thing that made it easy to boot games on the Dreamcast, though, is that Sega introduced this concept with the Dreamcast called a MIL CD. And what a MIL CD was supposed to be like a multimedia enabled disc.
Okay.
And the plan was they were going to try to get all like music artists and stuff to start releasing MIL CDs that were they're regular CDs, but they had extra features in them. Like the plan was you would pop your CD for Blink 182,
a Neon Bible for arcade Crier.
Yeah. You would pop your Arcade Fire disc or your Blink 182. I am sure that would be appropriate for the time period.
Yeah.
Disc into your Dreamcast, right? And it would have extra features on it. It wouldn't just be an audio CD. It would have maybe a music video on there, or maybe some interactive thing that you could do on your Dreamcast. That was the idea. So that system never actually came out. MIL CDs didn't happen. No one cared.
Right.
But because that system was in there, a system that allowed you to boot software from a CD that was not official Dreamcast, Sega licensed software.
Yeah.
It didn't take very long for people to figure out how to make it boot actual Dreamcast games from the MIL CD function. So whenever you burn a copy of a Dreamcast game and get it up and running on a Dreamcast, you're not burning a copy of a Dreamcast game. The games themselves, the actual ISOs, need to be modified to
so are you playing an emulated version of a Dreamcast game?
No, it's not an emulated version. It's just that the boot process of the game has to be, basically the disc has to be patched in such a way that when the Dreamcast looks at it, it sees it as a MIL CD instead of a Dreamcast game. And then once it boots it, the boot process just ends up getting, the MIL CD boot process ends up getting hijacked partway through because of the hack that has been developed there. And it gets hijacked and then ends up booting the game as a Dreamcast game after all. But as far as the Dreamcast is concerned, it doesn't know that it's not actually a real disc because it thinks it's a MIL CD, and then after it's authorized the boot, the Dreamcast has no idea what's happening anymore.
I see.
So the copy protection is basically, it's not really defeated. It's just being kind of like sidestepped by another exploit that has been taken care of. So yeah, the Dreamcast does have copy protection, and there were Dreamcast mod chips. Because Sega, realizing that this was a big problem, later in the lifespan of the Dreamcast, disabled the mil-CD function.
Okay.
Because it never came out.
So there are Dreamcasts that you can't do that with?
Yeah, past a certain serial number, they disabled the mil-CD functionality, so you can't play games on those later model Dreamcasts. But hey, you know, that's just a little bit of Dreamcast hacking history. Mm-hmm. The way they got the discs, there was some real creativity in there on getting discs, like actual game rips. Because, you know, like a regular CD player doesn't know what it's looking at whenever it looks at a Dreamcast disc.
Right.
They had to come up, once they figured out how to trick the Dreamcast into booting unofficial software, they came up with a method to boot a disc ripping software, basically, that worked through the network adapter on the Dreamcast. So they would basically, on a computer on the other end, like, connect to the Dreamcast through the network adapter, and then they would put this boot disk in there that would get the Dreamcast up and running into this software that they could rip from, and then they would swap the disc with a real Dreamcast game, and then they would just use the Dreamcast to read the disc and like download it onto the computer.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, pretty neat.
Oh, good. I have another line. Okay.
But effectively, what it meant was that the Dreamcast had no copy protection.
Right.
And that's why the Dreamcast is, I mean, I don't own any real Dreamcast discs, so I'm going to be honest with you. I've got a Dreamcast right down there.
Yep.
I don't own any real discs for it. That's actually not true.
Here, you can see this in action if you want to actually...
Well, I did see it in action earlier. Yeah, I mean, it's really effective. That's a lie, by the way. I do have a Shenmue disc.
Okay.
I have the Shenmue discs, but they don't work. They're scratched.
Awesome. So the only official Dreamcast games you have don't actually work.
Yeah, well, you know, it really pissed me off, too, because I bought those discs because I was going to play that game. I went to the Game Exchange. I bought those discs. I was like, sweet. Gonna play some Shenmue. Brought them home. They don't play. I'm like, well, shit. The thing about Shenmue is that it's a big old game. It's a big old game. It's on 3 discs, and it's hard. You can't really burn them to a normal disc without using like special compressed. Like you can't burn copies of it without using like compressed ROMs and stuff. It's weird. So and I never really worked it out. So I never ended up playing Shenmue.
Yeah,
because my real official discs don't work.
I think it just despawned the.
Nope. You didn't.
That's okay. I needed to refresh my lives there.
Okay.
These early Mega Man games, I can't go into a stage with 1 or 2 lives. I've got to go in with the full 3 lives.
Okay, so at what point does Mega Man stop being kind of shitty? Is it like did they get it figured out?
Mega Man 2 is good.
Okay.
3 on are my favorites. I know Mega Man 2 is like the best game ever made, but to me, I like it. I like it a lot. It's fun, but I don't feel like they really polished it and perfected it until 3.
Okay. Hey, can you pass me that cheese dip and chips?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, someday we'll get a better setup here where we have like a table in front of us. But
right.
In time. All things in due time. I think we got a much better setup here than any of the previous setups, though.
For sure. For sure. We can see the TV. It's not a million miles away. The camera is somewhere close to our faces.
It's a big old TV. What have you done here?
This is the Magnabeam that I got in the first.
Oh,
few
I see.
minutes of the game that I glitched out for. See, I'm in Gutsman stage. That's the weapon you actually need to get the Magnet Beam. But it's the most helpful in his stage.
I see.
So not getting it until you beat him kind of defeats the purpose of having the Magnet Beam.
And unless you need to like backtrack through his stage for some reason.
Do you remember these guys from Mega Man 1 or Mega Man X1? These guys right here.
Hammer Bro.
Yeah, these minor guys that are in Flame Mammoth and Armored Armadillo stages.
I don't know, man. I only played the DOS version of Mega Man X. So I don't know if it has that.
But they're in there. They're just like super polished, like Super Nintendo versions of these guys. Now, come on. I didn't land on the spikes.
Didn't look like he hit it.
Pretty sure I didn't land on the spikes there.
Well, anyway. Yeah, man. I don't know about the DOS version of this game, Jeremy. That's the only one I ever played.
Right. Come on, get up here. Get up here.
You know, now that I'm thinking about it, I wonder if they ever released DOS versions of X2 or X3.
No, I don't think so. Because
what a missed opportunity.
We would have had those games if they had.
Would we have, though?
X2 was the best game ever.
I mean, Mom and Dad didn't really buy us stuff very often, so...
Now, I think I bought X. I'm pretty sure that I saved up my allowance and bought MS-DOS Mega Man X. Because that's the only game console we had at the time.
You know, you probably would have been better off saving up your allowance and buying a Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
For $15.
That's true. What were
and then
thinking?
buying Mega Man X for a Super Nintendo.
Why didn't we have a Super Nintendo sooner than we did?
I don't know. Because I ended up buying my Super Nintendo in like, I don't know, probably 99.
Oh, I'm using the wrong weapon.
For like, well, wait a second. When would that have been? I bought my Super Nintendo like the year that I broke my arm.
Yeah.
But I don't remember which year that was.
I don't remember either.
I was in 3rd grade. So whatever year that was.
I don't know what year you were in 3rd grade.
Well, let's see. I graduated kindergarten in '96. I know that.
Okay.
So 99, I guess, would have been the year that I broke my arm.
Okay.
Okay.
You were like what? 10? 11?
I don't remember. I don't know. That's
you did some serious breakage there too. That wasn't just a broken arm.
No, I really fucked my arm up pretty bad.
All right, so let's go fight Dr. Wily now.
Okay.
It cracks me up. Like, you know, every other Mega Man game has some kind of epic introduction of Dr. Wily, or it's not Dr. Wily. Oh wait, it is Dr. Wily. But this one is just like, fucking, here I am.
Yep.
Time to go fight Dr. Wily.
It's pretty good. Well, they hadn't established that Dr. Wily is behind all these plots.
Right.
They just, like, at this point, it just is Dr. Wily. And then later on, Dr. Wily gets a little more wily.
Right.
You might say. But anyway, look, my point is, 99 probably was when I bought my Super Nintendo. And they were $15 back then.
Shit.
Man, if only I'd bought all the Super Nintendos.
Right. All of these Super Nintendos.
Like, that was the absolute, like, valley of the Super Nintendo's value. Like,
right.
You could go into the game store. I think I bought mine at Game Force.
Okay,
I think I bought mine at Game Force.
Oh, I miss Game Force. That was a great store.
Yeah. So you could go into Game Force, Jeremy, and you could buy $15 a Super Nintendo all day, every day. And so I did buy a Super Nintendo all day, every day. And by that I mean that one time, that one day.
This stage is bullshit, by the way. It's just a bunch of these guys who take away, you know, 2/3 of your health or 1/3 of your health.
Oh, okay. And you can't like evade them at all, right?
Yeah, and this you can go under them if they jump high, but it's random when they jump high.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm gonna use something.
Man, you know, we talk about like being like, oh, if only we had bought like Ethereum, you know,
right.
years and years. If only we had bought like all the Super Nintendos.
Yeah, I don't know. It wouldn't be as valuable as Ethereum a year ago, but sure.
If we had bought all the Super Nintendos in '99, we could be like thousandaire right now.
We could have made like ones of thousands of dollars by now. Just reselling those things, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, no. What was particularly disheartening for me is that I sold my Super Nintendo at like, probably like 2002 or something like that.
Yeah.
I only had a Super Nintendo for a few years.
Mm-hmm.
And when I sold it, they were worth about $20. And I was like, sweet. So I sold it. And then like the next year, suddenly the Super Nintendo was worth like $45, $50. And I was like, well, shit. Because as you might recall, my Super Nintendo is one of the things I traded in towards that Sega Saturn.
Right.
And they gave me like $20, you know, towards the Saturn.
Right. Well, that was back in the day when the technology was new enough, but at the end of its lifespan. Like now it's like a nostalgia thing, or like everybody wants their Super Nintendo back and all that stuff. But back then it was like, fuck the Super Nintendo, the Sega Saturn's out now. Like, you know.
Well, no. Because at the point at which we bought a Saturn, like the PS2 and stuff was already out.
Right.
So we bought it after that was even over.
Oh, yeah.
How much did we pay for that, Jeremy? Do you know? Because I certainly don't.
What did we pay for what?
The Saturn.
Oh,
like, what was the price on that thing?
I have no idea. I don't remember at all.
Because I know I traded in my Super Nintendo as my contribution to that.
Yeah.
And probably whatever games I had.
I don't remember.
I'm guessing, just based on the fact that my portion of it was my Super Nintendo and like the 3 games I had, we probably paid like $50 or $60
$60. I was going to say $60. That sounds about right.
And I feel like that in 2001 or 2002 dollars or whatever that was, we probably overpaid for the Saturn.
I think so.
Probably a little bit.
Well, you know.
I mean, nowadays they're worth...
Nobody knows what things are worth at the time. Like, the 3DO was like $400 or $600 when it came out. Now I wouldn't pay $6 for it. You know? Nobody wants a 3DO or a, what was it called? 3D something I?
The CDI.
CDI.
I would pretty much only buy a 3DO or a CDI if I encountered one at Goodwill for like $5.
Right.
I would never actively seek either of those things.
Right. Unless you were just like a serious like console collector, 90s console.
Well, no, that's my point. I would never do that. Like I have like all the consoles.
Right.
But I don't care about those.
Right. Well, no, I mean, who does? That's the thing. Unless you're just like, I've got to have all the things that were 90s.
Like I am more inclined to get a hold of a TurboGrafx 16 than I am to get like a 3DO. I'm actually mildly interested in the TurboGrafx 16.
Yeah, isn't that the SNES equivalent, right? Or no?
You could argue that, I suppose.
Fuck.
I think it might have been a little bit
shit.
Yeah, a little bit shit.
This is the thing that sucks about this game. So I'm out of Magnet Beam, which means I can't complete this.
Okay.
Like, this is a place where you have to have Magnet Beam? Oh, no, never mind. I can. They give me a safety net. Sweet. Thank you, early Capcom, for giving me a safety net instead of locking me out of finishing the stage.
They were like, we may not know what we're doing, but...
we may not know how to develop a game, but we're going to give you these things. Now, you know, we're gonna make it the biggest pain in the ass you've ever had, but
hey, man,
we're gonna give you an out.
It just comes with the territory. I mean, what you're doing right now is disgraceful, and you should feel it.
I do. Okay, that should be enough.
This is their way of telling you you do not have the skill required.
Yeah. Well, I don't, because the magnet beam is the most unwieldy thing you can imagine.
I mean, I've seen you use it a few times. Seems pretty unwieldy.
The thing is, like, it doesn't stop moving vertically until you let go of the button.
Okay.
So if I could push it here, hold the square button and jump up here and then land, and it would be down at ground level still.
Right. Okay. So you have to let go of it whenever you need to place it.
Yeah, you have to like place it in the exact right pixel, or you're not getting where you need to go.
Uh-huh.
So it's all about the the quick tap and release.
Right.
But if you do it slightly like a pixel too high, the one that you're standing on disappears and you fall back to the ground. You got to start over.
Okay. Sounds wonderful.
Yeah. Okay, here's the Yellow Devil, I believe. Yeah, here he is. This is music and everything.
Yellow Dello.
The Yellow Dello, yeah. I mean, this is what the battle's like, and I'm probably gonna die. Yeah, I'm gonna die. But if you survive until he shows his eye, this is what the whole battle's like, though. If you don't use the glitch, this is the battle. He opens his eye for about 3 seconds, and then he goes back into this thing again, and it's the biggest pain in the ass. Like, you could learn the pattern, I guess, but who wants to do that?
I wonder if it's the same pattern every time.
It's not. I don't think. Yeah, see, and I missed it. I didn't get it, so now I'm gonna have to do this again. And how do you even dodge some of these?
I don't know, man.
I hope that wasn't my last life. Fucking hell. God damn it.
Hey, man. I'm with you. I'm here. I'm here for you, man. Moral support.
Yeah. This blows.
You definitely don't want me playing it, though. I can tell you that
why
much.
are we playing this game again? Let's go play a good Mega Man game.
Because we said something about playing all the Mega Man games?
Yeah. I mean, I did beat all the bosses. So I guess I might as well finish it, right?
Yeah. Might as well. It's not like it's going to be difficult to do or anything. You know?
Yeah, I mean, actually,
Mega Man games are easy. You know, they're easy.
They're historically some of the easiest games. Mm-hmm. People look at Mega Man games and go like, yeah, it's child's play. Like,
they do, though. That's the embarrassing part.
What?
That's the embarrassing part, is that most people do. They're like,
no, not most people, no. Most people think Mega Man games are unreasonably difficult games.
Like, oh, Mega Man games? Try Contra.
Contra's not as hard as this.
Oh, well.
With the 30 life code, and if you know somewhat what you're doing, it is not as hard as this game.
Well, this game would probably be a lot easier if you had a 30 life code also.
Yes, it would, but I'm just saying, like, I do somewhat know what I'm doing in this game. It still fucking sucks.
Talking about playing Contra legit, not with 30 life codes.
That is legit. They put that in the game so that you could use it.
No, it's not legit. It's a code.
Nobody plays Contra start to finish.
I am sure that there are some hardcore people there who play it with
not even hardcore people. They all put the 30 life code in.
I'm going to go find some people. I bet Todd Rogers did it.
Who's that?
He's a guy who's holds like tons and tons and tons of records, and then recently they found out that
that he cheated
on all of them.
Yeah, that he didn't actually set any of those records, or actually didn't even cheat. I wouldn't say cheated. I would say just didn't do it.
No, he just made them up
because the dragster one is totally made up.
Not possible. It can't be done in the game.
It's not even a possible record for you to have done.
There are several games that are like not even possible to have gotten the score.
Barnstorming.
Yeah, Barnstorming. That's the other one. Okay, so you're aware of this.
Oh yeah, I've been watching some footage of him and freaking Billy Mitchell.
Yeah,
that came out recently too, which that's been known for a long time. They made a documentary about him called The King of Kong back in the day. Everybody knows Billy Mitchell's a cheater. I want to watch
that one.
Oh, I have. I've seen it.
The thing is, though, Billy Mitchell is actually really good at Donkey Kong.
So why you gotta lie and say that you're better than you are?
I don't know. Because the thing is, like, the record at the time that he set his world record that is in contention right now, because it's like not. It's like there's like obvious
you know who Apollo Legend is. Apollo Legend?
No.
Oh, you're not familiar with his videos on
No.
YouTube? Okay. He's been doing a lot of videos on Todd Rogers and Billy Mitchell lately. And he did one just showing that Twin Galaxies is a fucking joke.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even... There's no credibility there.
Right.
So having a record on Twin Galaxies means nothing anyway.
Well, didn't it, like, at one point kind of, like, wasn't it, like, thought to mean something?
Yeah, I mean, back in, like, the Atari and arcade days, Twin Galaxies was where you set records, but nowadays there's SDA and...
Well, yeah, but, like, Twin Galaxies, like, those Twin Galaxies records are, like the Guinness Book of World Records acknowledges a lot of those Twin Galaxy records.
Right, but the Guinness Book of World Records, you know, wised up to Todd Rogers.
Right. For sure.
By the way, when you said Todd Rogers and I said, who are you talking about? I knew who Todd Rogers was, but in the context you were talking about, it didn't make sense for you to be talking about Todd Rogers. So I was like, why are you... Which Todd Rogers do you mean?
What do you mean it didn't make sense? I just thought it would be a topical thing because he's known for cheating now. It's like, you know, it just seemed like it'd be topical and like relatable. Right. It's like, oh yeah. I bet Todd Rogers has a no 30 life run.
Right. Right. Actually, he puts in a code to only have one life.
Yeah.
And he beat the game in under 14 button presses or something.
Right. Only, unfortunately...
Because back then time didn't matter. Like, there was no time. There was no speed runs back in the arcade days. It was about, you know, high score or something. Whatever that's about.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, Contra, that's probably, like, too new for Todd Rogers to have ever played.
Right.
But, anyway, the thing with Billy Mitchell, though, is that he has, like, but the record that has so much contention around it is his, like, 1.6 million
which was
record.
Verified by referee.
Right.
And has
there's no video evidence
whatsoever that he actually hit that level.
But the thing is, like, the next best one before he supposedly set that record was like 1.2 million. And he has, like, at live events put in 900,000+ score. Like, so it doesn't seem completely inconceivable that he would be able to beat that 1.2 million record if he tried hard enough. Because at just live, like, you know, play sessions, he's put up 900,000+ scores. So that's like, clearly he's good at it.
Yeah.
But he just, like, for whatever reason has chosen to lie about his world records. Like,
what I just have no respect for him. If you're good at something, be good at it.
Yeah.
And admit when you're not as good as someone else.
Yeah.
So the King of Kong is about a guy named Steve Weeby.
Yeah. I've never seen it, but I do want to watch it.
It's pretty good.
I've heard it's good.
It's pretty good, but I've also heard in recent days, because it's about 10 or 12 years old, that there's some talk of Steve Weeby possibly cheated and some shit. I don't know.
No, so many people are, like, in question for cheating at this point.
Yeah.
I don't think any speed runs are sacred.
The thing is, but they're not. See, that's the thing. It's not a speed run.
Or not speed runs, but just records in general. Video game records.
It's freaking like Atari and classic arcade records. And that's the thing. Like, speed runners, in this day and age especially, it's so hard to cheat now because you have to do it live. Like, SDA generally only recognizes live runs. Right. They don't. You can't send in a VHS tape of you playing a game.
I wish that you could send in a VHS. Do you guys still accept VHS?
You know, in this day, oh, fuck my life. I just cleared that pit and then walked back into it.
Why'd you do that, Jeremy?
Because I thought I was good to go. Okay. Anyway. So in this day and age of Twitch and YouTube streaming and all that stuff, like, there's no excuse not to set your record live.
Right.
You know, you set it live. You set your record live on stream for everyone to see. I didn't know that could happen. That he could just fly up and crush me into the spikes like that.
So, Jeremy, what if
this game we didn't play this anymore? We played Mega Man 2 instead?
No.
Oh, okay.
What if you had a recording that you had doctored up of the game being played?
Yeah.
And you, on stream...
Just played the video?
Played the video.
It's happened before. It has happened before.
Yeah, so how does that, like, streaming, like, I don't think verifies anything. I think the only way that you could legitimately verify it is if it was at an event.
But the thing is, with our technology these days, here's the thing, and that's what Apollo Legends video goes into, is, like, there are so many things. Like, you can go into the audio files and look at the audio.
Yeah.
To see if there was any splices. You know, there's a lot of ways that you can figure out if a video is doctored or not. The problem with Twin Galaxies specifically is that they don't acknowledge any of that evidence. They're like, well, it's just glitch, you know, or, you know, whatever. You're just trying to stir up some trouble.
Yeah.
You troublemakers are trying to, you know.
You're just trying to take away our Guinness records.
Billy Mitchell's a legend. You just can't take that away from him, you know. Billy Mitchell. And they don't address, like, the truth, because they all know that Billy... That's the thing about Twin Galaxies. They all know that Billy Mitchell's lying.
Right. And they all know that Todd Rogers is lying also, because, like, they're all involved in the... The thing is, like, with Billy Mitchell is apparently, I guess he was, like, a major, like, financial supporter of Twin Galaxies. And he, like, at some point threatened them whenever they, like, were inquiring about things.
Yeah, he specifically said, I'm going to make things real bad for Twin Galaxies.
Seems legit.
Yeah.
No foul play here. Yeah. But, like, the thing is, like, the fact that they will accept a run based on a referee is ridiculous.
Right.
Like, that's just ridiculous on its own.
Oh, yeah, because, well, especially a run from an employee of the fucking company.
Right. Like, that's just like...
Hey, bro. Yeah, look, you're the referee, okay? I just got 1.6 million on Donkey Kong. No, you didn't see it. I mean, it's not up there anymore. I see the zeros up there now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, because I didn't have more quarters to put in the... you know? But, like, that's the thing. Like, the fact that they do accept just a referee's word... like, it completely invalidates any referee-based, like you can't trust anything that was done there, because a referee...
That would be like a football game being played between two teams and a referee in the middle, and no spectators.
Right.
And no cameras.
Right.
And then just be like, and then, you know, both teams saying that they won, and the referee coming out and being like, it was them, they won.
Yeah, and then everybody's just going to be like, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, clearly that's officially the NFL, you know, record. Like, yeah, they're going to move on to the Super Bowl or whatever. Yeah, you get the trophy because the referee said that you won, but no one saw it happen, and you're both claiming to have won.
That's fair. That's fair.
It's like, no. Like, it needs to be verified.
Trophy belongs to those guys because you said so, referee.
It needs to be verifiable. And if there's no video to even attempt to verify the referee's word, then it doesn't count for anything.
Yep.
It's pretty absurd that they even, you know... Like, maybe it just comes from the fact that Twin Galaxies has been around since, like, the 70s or whatever.
Right. And
they were like, well, I mean, there's no way for people who, like, are keeping track of Twin Galaxies scores to actually view any kind of verification of... any of these scores anyway, so like...
There is, you know, Super 8. I'm just saying. That is what they did back in the day. They videotaped it.
You call into Twin Galaxies and you're like, yes, I'm a big fan. I would like to request the film prints to view this particular high score run and this one as well.
Right.
And they're like, and that's just part of the service they offer is that they'll ship you some prints for you to check them out. You know, if you need to.
So you can watch them.
You know, I'm sure there's
the original prints.
I'm sure there's like a subscription fee or something that goes with that particular aspect of the service. But it's like, yeah, we'll just send the print out to you if you need it for any reason.
Yeah. I'm just trying to get real good at Donkey Kong. So I want to watch Billy Mitchell's original tapes of when he set the 1,667,000 record.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like one of the other runs that he has for like Donkey Kong Jr.
Yeah,
is contentious because it was like a MAME run, and everybody knows that it's a MAME run. But he's like, I've never played a game on MAME. I don't even know what.
He actually admitted to playing a game on MAME.
Well, you know what's funny
but then he said like, but everybody else is doing it or something like that.
No, I heard an interview he did on some sort of radio show or something.
I know, it's a YouTube podcast.
Oh, okay, a podcast.
That kissed his ass the entire time he was there. Yeah.
So I listened to the audio.
On different videos.
I listened to the audio of it, and it was hilarious because he's like, "So have you? There's allegations."
The easy answer is no.
The easy answer is no. Now the hard answer is that yes, I have played on MAME. I literally have done that. But no, the answer is no though. Right. Because he's like,
you know, his actual like excuse was like, have I sat in front of a computer at home and played MAME? Never. No. And I never would.
But yes, there was this one time that there was an arcade machine that had a computer with MAME in it, and I played that, and it was no big deal. Like, that doesn't count, though.
So Apollo Legend actually breaks down his world record videos.
Uh-huh.
And apparently, the way that the screen transitions...
Mm.
Have you seen this?
It sweeps in from the side versus in MAME, it just everything loads in one block at a time. And he compared. You've seen this video that I'm telling you about, and you just don't know who Apollo Legend is. I'm pretty sure. Maybe I've seen several videos that broke down the same thing. So I think it's something that's just swept through
this video, and you just didn't realize who it was. But yeah, that was his video where he was like, so I compared his world record video with a MAME video, and it's the exact same fucking thing.
I've been really interested in this, not because I care about these people at all, but just because this is
or any of this shit.
Because this is just a really fascinating thing that's happening right now, and I'm into it.
Right. And you know, I mean, hey, it's a scandal in our world. So.
Right. It's a video game scandal. Right. Those don't happen.
You don't get that very often.
But yeah, it's been pretty good. That's been my YouTube.
Here.
How many lives do you have? Are you gonna make
have
it?
More than
Are
one?
you gonna do it, Jimmy?
I'm doing good. Okay, cool. Well, let's see if I can get him on the first. No, I can't get him at all because I'm gonna die right now.
All right.
This game is fucking bullshit, Caleb.
Yeah, it seems that way.
I mean, the thing is, like, everything... Like, what's the point in having 30 pixels of life if everything takes 6 to 8 to 20 of them
Jeremy,
from you?
It's Nintendo hard.
Yeah.
It's just Nintendo hard. Come on. You need to sack up and deal with it, Jeremy.
So. I just hate this game. I hate it.
Didn't you grow up in Nintendo hard age?
No, I grew up in SNES hard age, and that's a completely different...
Oh, that was back when games weren't hard anymore.
Right.
Yeah, Nintendo hard is kind of frustrating.
Yeah.
Not a big fan.
No, I did land a couple of hits on him there, but not enough. Fuck me. God dang it.
I gotta go get another beer. Would you like another?
Yeah, I'll take another.
Or do you wanna... It's 10:30, basically.
Is it really that late?
Beer?
Nah.
Okay.
No, I'll knock off.
I definitely do want another beer. So.
No, we need to wrap this up around 11. So.
Okay.
Okay, I got him 3 times that cycle.
I gotta tell you, man, I already dig this setup here. Like, for real. Like, I'm just I'm a big fan of the fact that this is its own separate room.
You know what, Caleb? I'm not going to do this again. I'm not going to play the stage again.
Okay.
This is driving me insane.
Why don't you save state it and just fucking...
Ah, shit. Why didn't you remind me of that? Okay, I will play it one more time.
I don't know, I thought you were being like a tough guy.
No, I was being a guy that forgot that I had save states.
Yeah, we don't have any problem with save states here.
No.
We're not trying to put in any records in Twin Galaxies, although that wouldn't be a problem anyway.
That wouldn't be a problem for them. I mean, they're fine with it. Like, save states, sure. Just, I mean, like, the best of all your segments, just put them together. It's cool.
Well, the one thing I don't understand, and this may just be because I don't understand how Donkey Kong works.
Yeah.
But in these videos, they keep on talking about his 1.6 million, or well, I don't know, one of those runs. Mm-hmm. The main one that they keep breaking down how that works. And they keep on talking about how, like, the math is wrong in it. Like, it generates a higher percentage of high scores for the smashes or whatever. For the hammers, hammerings.
I don't think I remember that, but yeah, okay.
Okay, well, they have determined that
was
that statistically, there is a certain percentage chance that you're going to get like a 300, 400, or 500 point
hammer smash.
Basically, and that statistically speaking, he gets way more 400 and 500 point hammer smashes than the RNG should allow normally.
That's like,
and they find that that doesn't necessarily confirm anything, but it is extremely unusual that mathematically this doesn't work out like it normally would.
Right.
It's like exceptionally high luck. And they're saying that that would have something to do with MAME, like multiple MAME runs being stitched together. Where
yeah, for sure. So, are you familiar with what a TAS is?
Yes. Okay. It's like a robotic.
It's a tool assisted. No, it's not robotic. It's just using the tools of an emulator.
Well, you're basically programming button presses at certain times and stuff.
Sort of, but like TASers are playing the game. But they're playing with an emulator, and they're playing with a lot of tools at their disposal. Like, on the screen, it'll show the actual hitbox of each enemy.
Okay.
And it'll show, like, their X and Y coordinates on the screen. And basically what they do is they go back and re-record with save states at every possible frame. So they are playing the game. They're using a controller or some sort of input device, and they're playing the game. But they play basically every frame as perfectly as possible. So it's a tool-assisted speedrun. The person is actually quote-unquote playing the game. There's no computer program playing the game for them. They just But basically, it's the most perfect run you can possibly have.
But what they ultimately do is capture like an input, capture. They do like an input capture that could be replayed on real hardware through the appropriate.
Sure. Yeah.
Like controller emulation mechanism.
Right.
Because I've seen task runs played on like AGDQ.
Yeah, TaskBot. Yeah.
So it's something that can, like, the inputs can be recorded and then replayed with the correct hardware on a real system.
But they're recording that themselves. I mean, that's my point. Is that there is somebody behind it. There's somebody masterminding this thing. It's not just a computer program that shows you what the most perfect thing is. It is a skill that somebody has figured out.
So I think the idea, if I'm understanding this correctly, is that they suspect that he is basically that in this really high score run, he was basically every hammer smash, possibly replaying it over and over again until he gets until the RNG works out to be a higher.
Somehow I got the Running Man in there. Okay. Anyway, yeah.
Till the RNG works out that he gets the higher point values on each hammer smash. so that he more quickly gets to that higher number. But what I don't understand is why you would do that. Because if you're using save states and replaying frames and correcting any mistakes already, then why would you try to manipulate the RNG when you could just play the game longer and to get the higher score?
There's a kill screen. Donkey Kong has a kill screen. After you go so far, it kills the game. It glitches the game and the game dies.
So the only way to get higher point values is to get higher
the stages.
Okay. So that has to do with the stages themselves, like the number of stages themselves.
There's like 68 screens or something like that. I don't know.
Because I know about the kill screen in Pac-Man. Because Pac-Man's like after like stage 99 or something like that. No, stage 255, I think it is.
I don't know. I don't know what Donkey Kong's could be 255. I don't know what
Pac-Man's is 255 because the way that the score calculation works is a 32-bit integer.
Right.
And once it passes 250, once it hits 256, it rolls back to 0.
Right.
And when it rolls back to 0, the whole thing flips out.
Right.
Because it doesn't understand what's happening.
It was common back then for arcade games to have a kill screen.
Right. Yeah, it's okay. That makes sense. So you would have to manipulate it in order to.
How did we finish this?
Because we're fat.
Because we're fat. In a whole bowl of cheese dip.
I mean, there's 2 of us here.
Yeah.
So that, we each ate half of a bowl of cheese dip.
Yeah.
But. Well, I didn't eat any supper. Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
So, That's health tips from Joe Machute Bros. Got to keep you fit.
Didn't eat supper? No problem. Cheese dip, you're waiting.
Cheese dip. It's pretty much a well-rounded meal.
Right.
It's pretty much a balanced meal.
Pretty much good for you. No, that's not true at all.
It pretty much is sustenance.
Right. Pretty much won't kill you. That's not true.
I mean, it'll keep you alive for a bit longer.
Interesting fact here, his weakness is Gutsman's weapon. Do you see any blocks you can pick up and throw at him?
No.
No.
I guess he's just
completely
meant to be
worthless
difficult.
in the refights. Yeah. No, he's the easiest boss to buster, so fine. But
okay.
Still, kind of stupid.
Well, what can you do?
Oh, Capcom, what could they have done? Make a good game would have been great.
That's a start.
I mean, the thing is, if Mega Man didn't have such a legacy, nobody would give this game a second look.
Yeah.
Nobody today would look at this game and go, "What a classic." They'd go, "This thing fucking sucks."
It really is probably just the fact that there were so many other games after it.
Right.
And they were good. I guess, at the time, this was probably fine.
Are you fucking shitting me? I gotta go back to the beginning of the stage.
You gotta start using those save states, Jeremy. You have them.
Remind me. Well, that's not. So I can just die eternally.
Hey, you should have used a save state there while you were falling.
Right. I'm just gonna save state every 2 steps. Here we go. Okay, saved. Saved.
That makes sense. No, it was perfect.
Here we go.
Yeah. This is what this is the Jump and Shoot Bros way of playing the game.
Right. Okay. Save state. Saved again. Damn it. I forget how save states work.
Well, R remembers.
No, I'll save
and L loads.
Yeah, but I forget left and right sometimes. That's the problem.
Oh, well, that's understandable.
See, there we go.
Yeah. That's
no more lost lives.
We all forget our lefts from our rights sometimes.
Right. Okay.
We're not mentally challenged. We're just,
I think I determined this is the easiest way to get through here. A shield weapon.
Nice. The NES kind of sucks. I'm just gonna go ahead and make a blanket statement here.
Oh man, it was so much better than its predecessors that...
Yeah, but you know, it's okay. Look, I get. Yes, you're right. It was better than the predecessors, but I still feel like that it wasn't until the Super Nintendo that we arrived at video games.
Right.
You know,
like what video games should be, or
like what you would describe as being video games. Really, like okay, you know, like okay, so as far as 2D games are concerned, I really do think the Super Nintendo was it. You know,
Yeah.
that was it. That's whenever we achieved 2D games.
right.
Right? Before that, it was kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
You know? But the Super Nintendo is whenever everybody figured out, okay, yeah, this is how you make 2D games, right?
Right.
And I feel exactly the same way about the PlayStation 2. You know?
This is 3D games.
Yeah, they were like, okay. Oh, yeah, we know how to make 3D games now.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, well, the PS1 had some pretty good games.
it did, but it clearly, no one knew what they were
Right.
doing with it. They were like, what is this? What,
I mean,
how do we 3D?
I don't know, Bubsy.
You know,
3D.
Bubsy 3D. I mean, it
Bubsy
pretty
3D.
much
They
established it.
nailed that.
I feel like that the N64 had a better, you know, run with 3D games than the PlayStation did.
N64 was pretty sweet
But
compared to the... Damn it.
But the N64 has a bunch of technical problems that makes it shit now.
Yeah.
That even, well, I mean, the PlayStation 1 does too. I mean, they all do. They're just, that generation, not great. The Saturn was the only good system in that generation because
not
it was
for the 3D.
because it was so good at 2D.
Yeah.
That's what makes it good retroactively.
Right.
Like the arcade games that were ported to it are amazing.
Yeah.
Like they are amazing representations of the original arcade games, and that's just not true of like the PlayStation versions of any of them. And the N64 didn't get any games, so
Right.
so you're right then and there. You know, it's clearly the worst one.
Right.
But in terms of like the 3D games, like clearly. Are you doing that on purpose every time?
No, I'm fucking shit. And I just saved instead of loading. God damn it. I save stated after I beat Cutman. And then I save stated again when I found it.
Yeah. Well, okay. I mean, that's not ideal, I would imagine, but...
No, because you know what I said? I said to myself, I said, Rhett, R, remember where I was when I saved earlier. No, that's not what R stands, or what R means. What remember means.
You know what we need? We need a separate controller for the
For
saving.
just saving and loading,
And,
yes.
and it needs to be like two giant buttons, and
Right.
one's like a big red button that's for saving, and a big green button for loading. It's like, no, don't save.
Right.
Load. You only save whenever you really need to.
Right. That is the worst thing about save states.
Yeah.
Because I never fucking do it right.
Yeah. I mean, you can really fuck yourself with save states.
With both things. Like, you can load, like, 2 hours previous.
Yep.
Or you can save when you die.
Yep.
Like, there are so many bad things that can happen with save states.
Yeah, save states are dangerous. They're too dangerous. It's not safe. We need to get rid of them. Should be illegal. Where's Obama when you need him?
Right. I find save states to be unconstitutional.
Yes, that's what the president gets to do. That's the president's job, to determine whether things are constitutional or not.
Yep, it is. That's what he's there for.
When the Supreme Court makes a decision, the president goes,
I
I don't
this
know
ruling
about
to be
this.
unconstitutional.
This seems like a pretty unconstitutional thing, Supreme Court. I'm going to override you.
Yep. Well, that is what the president has done. No, it's not. But, you know, it's what he would have liked to do.
Yeah, well, the way the president overrides the Supreme Court is they, you know, nominate justices that agree with them.
Right. Well, I could use some life right now. Loading the state where I have 3 pixels of HP, that's
it's not exactly
a pain in the ass.
I mean, it's no, you know what? I mean, there's really nothing good to say about this situation. Hey, you should probably just...
If somebody would, like, you know, drop a life capsule at some point, I'd be good to go. Yeah, now I have 2.
Yeah, it gets better and better.
Now I have 1, guys.
Sweet.
I can do this.
You got 1, and you've got, what, 0 lives?
Yeah, so here we go. Let's see here. Let's go with Electric Man's weapon. There we go. Wiped them all out. Cool. And now here we go.
You know, it's probably not fair what I said earlier about the NES, you know? It's probably not fair. The thing is, you gotta consider the fact.
Oh, fuck.
Consider the fact that this is like...
Okay, cool. I'm cool with this. I'm saving right now. And look at that. The life is back. Okay, cool. Alright, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Consider the fact that the NES is like the first time that you could really make games that like resemble games.
Yeah.
As we know them.
Right.
And then you gotta also think about like, okay, this is the first time you could make games that resemble what we call games today.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what they did because they didn't know any better.
Right.
like they were just, this was an entirely new concept to them. They were blazing the trail of making what we now consider to be games.
Right, true.
And you know, because everything that came before it didn't exactly,
not all blue.
You know, represent what I would think of as a game I want to play.
Atari is the worst thing.
Yeah.
Everything about it.
Yeah.
Not fun.
Yeah.
Not fun.
I mean, the controller was established as a thing.
Right.
Like, they established the fact that the controller existed, you know?
Yes.
Like, that was a viable format.
Right. I don't remember how you...
Is this Nega Man that you're playing against?
I'm fighting Nega Man.
Wow. Mega Man versus Nega Man.
Yep.
Sounds amazing. Can you pause menu him?
Oh, you know what? Maybe. I didn't even think about it. I think there maybe you can't for some reason. No, it's working.
Does he mimic whatever weapon you're using?
Yes.
Wow,
he moves too fast to do that
ass.
Effectively. Oh, you got me.
Oh, the stakes are so high.
They are, because I could, you know, any second
save
state over my load.
How many lives do you have?
1.
Oh, okay, so
but I mean,
you could really screw up bad at least once.
Yeah.
Maybe
so,
okay.
Let's see. Let's try fire out. Let's see how fire works. No, not so good. Let's see. Cut.
Are those little beep beep bops coming from the game?
I don't think so.
Yeah, they are. Because as you pause them, they're...
Maybe they're coming from the music.
Yeah, I think they are.
Weird. Okay, well, fuck this.
Now you're getting it. Save states. It's how you play games. It's the way games are meant to be played. Just ask
Save
Todd
states and glitches.
Rogers. Just ask Billy Mitchell.
Right.
Just ask whoever it was that cheated, that beat Billy Mitchell and also cheated.
Right.
Or something. I don't know. Who cares about Donkey Kong scores, really, though?
I do. I care a lot.
Yeah? You a big fan of Donkey Kong?
See, look at that. With more than half of my HP left.
Wow, so easy.
Died on them 3 times and then, you know.
It does seem to be how it goes sometimes, you know?
Yep.
But... so, yeah, you care a lot about Donkey Kong?
No.
Yeah? Yeah, me too.
I really don't.
I get you. I hear where you're coming from, man. Donkey Kong, high scores, man, that's a That's near and dear to my heart.
Yeah. I don't know. It's fun. It is fun to talk about because, I mean, I think it's fun just because it's the only scandal that's ever happened in the video game world that I can remember.
I mean, it's fun to talk about because because of the scandal is fun to talk about. It's not fun to talk about because I give a fuck about Donkey Kong scores, because I really don't. But
when you talk about, like, you know, principles, he should not be rewarded with, you know, that esteem when he didn't fucking earn it. Like, there are people out there who have earned better scores than he's capable of getting.
Yeah, and well, you know, and what my favorite thing is about all this is all of the, like, analysis videos that are breaking down, like all the research that has gone into debunking these scores is much more interesting to me than, like, the story itself.
Right.
Because it's just like I love hearing this kind of stuff where people have done the research and, like, put in the work to make you know, make it clear that something, you know, is going on.
Right.
It's pretty sweet. I'm totally into it.
Right.
Like the fact that like the thing with the MAME stuff, like, that's fascinating that somebody noticed that and broke it down, and I love it.
Right. Okay, so I'm gonna save here. Oh wait.
Man, someday people are gonna look at this stream and they're gonna be like, he was using save states. Jeremy Tate is a fraud.
Right. Because I claimed so much to be like some kind of legit Mega Man 1 runner.
Yep. Jeremy's a world-renowned guy who beats Mega Man 1.
Guy who is capable of beating Mega Man 1.
Turns out he was using save states the whole time.
Yep.
And we analyzed the video footage and we noticed we found that it was not cut out when he was saving and loading. Turns out that RetroPie save states, unlike a real NES, have a little thing down in the bottom that says save state loaded. And by analyzing the video compared to a real NES version of the game, we could tell that he was using save states.
Yep.
Oh man, I'm gonna make that video.
Because NES doesn't say save state loaded.
Right. That's not how it works. Whenever it loads a save state, dude,
that's not how the NES works.
Right. It's just a you know, it's just a flaw in the emulation.
Right.
Dude, I'm gonna take you down.
Do it.
The Guinness Book of World Records for people having beaten it. They're gonna revoke that. They're gonna revoke that record.
Yep. Jeremy Tate hasn't beaten Mega Man 1.
Jeremy Tate, formerly the world record holder for having beaten Mega Man 1, was stripped of his title today.
This guy's impossible.
It looks kind of difficult. How are you supposed to... What are you supposed to be doing here?
You have to use Gutsman's weapon, but due to the joy of this game,
yeah.
If you use Gutsman's weapon once in a room, that tile is permanently gone.
Okay.
Until you game over and come back.
Yeah, I did notice that those blocks that you had there were no longer there.
So Gutsman's weapon to soften him up, and then you can beat him with the rest of the stuff.
But, right, so you need to save state before you get in there, just in case it doesn't go well.
The problem here is, if I save, I'm not going to have, like, a massive amount of HP going in this room, because, I'm basically getting this life. It doesn't, okay, I guess I can safety.
Why don't you just die?
I'll just safety die when I get in there.
Come on, dude. You know how to do this.
Yeah.
You know how to safety die, Jeremy. I know you know.
Yeah. I think I coined the phrase safety die.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that you did on this very stream. I'm just going to go safety die real quick. Okay.
Fine. Okay, I'll safety die. Let's just see if I can do any damage on him with the Mega Buster. Oh, I actually did do some damage on him.
Sweet. Maybe you don't even need a safety die.
Okay, so here we go. I can't waste my guts, man.
Yeah. Man, I wonder if there's...
I gotta land all 4 of these hits on him. What's that?
I wonder if I'm even looking at the right thing for Twitch stream. For the comments.
Oh shit.
Because I'm looking at this Twitch screen here and noticing that... Aha!
What's up?
Aha! So we weren't looking at a section where we could see the comments at all the entire time.
Okay.
Some people did comment.
Today?
Yeah. Somebody was like, hello. And then they were like, did you like the Dreamcast? And yeah, the Dreamcast is great. And then this guy's like, this live stream sucks. And
nice.
You know what? It's probably true.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to lie.
That is absolutely true, you guys.
It's probably true. We don't have any people chatting in the YouTube though. That's sad. YouTube is usually where we have lots of activity, you know. When we play Doki Doki Literature Club, right? The only thing that anybody ever watched.
Probably for a good reason too. I mean, the YouTube chat was a lot more interesting than the Twitch chat in Doki Doki Literature Club.
That's true, man. Whatever is going on there, I don't know what. I don't know what's going on there exactly, but it's kind of it's a little hardcore.
Yeah.
How do I get the stream chat? I don't. Wait. What? Twitch. I don't understand your interface. I've complained about this before, but Twitch's user interface is shit.
Yeah.
And I want them to know that it is shit, and I don't approve. YouTube's interface is obvious. The chat is just there.
Yeah.
There's no problem. Everything about Twitch is terrible. You'd think that Amazon would have put some money into fixing it.
Amazon owns Twitch now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've owned Twitch for like a year and a half.
Oh, okay.
It's been a while.
What's up with Amazon owning everything?
They have a lot of money. Well, they don't actually. They have no money.
Yeah. They're going bankrupt?
I've got a lot of investors.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of investors' money.
Yeah.
To throw around on stuff. No, Amazon is fascinating. They're a really interesting company because they've never turned a profit in their entire history. But the reason for that is because they reinvest everything that they ever make.
Right.
You know?
Smart.
So they run on...
It's good business.
I mean, they run almost exclusively on, you know... Well, okay, that's not fair to say, but like venture capital and just like public investment is like where their money comes from.
Mm-hmm.
It's what keeps them afloat. But they post a loss every year.
Yeah.
They've never turned a profit.
Interesting.
But the reason is because, and the big idea, the big plan, is to you know, continue growing and continue growing and continue growing as they have done year over year, every year. And then eventually someday, maybe they decide, okay, this is the year that we don't have to invest everything and, you know, seek all this outside investment to keep on growing our you know, services and resources and whatnot. Maybe this is the year that we turn, like, you know, a couple $1 billion of profit just because we can, like, do that.
Right.
So, you know, their strategy is to just grow to be the largest company ever made. And then eventually they don't have to grow anymore. And then they will be the most profitable company ever.
Right.
Which is pretty interesting. But it's risky business too, because you got to trust that, you know, investors have to trust that something good is going to happen. But I mean, who wouldn't? Though, like in Amazon, you're like, this is a juggernaut. This is not going anywhere. Like, Amazon's not going to go out of business tomorrow because of anything.
Right.
You know? So, Amazon, that's probably one of those companies that you would have wanted to have had stock in 1996.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think they were around in 96.
No,
but probably like 98 or 99. That seems about right. Because they were one of those, .com, boom websites. But that was back whenever they only did books.
Yeah. Which is interesting. That's where fucking Amazon came from.
I know, it's crazy.
All right, so this is it, man. Mega Man 1 right here.
Yeah. Ooh, is that some wall ham?
No, it's just a weapon fill up.
Oh, I thought we were playing Castlevania.
I'm almost certain, if I'm not mistaken, and this is the weapon I want. Pretty sure it's fire. I hope I have a life. I do have a life. Okay, so I'm not going to. Yeah.
So hey, does anybody here watching the stream right now believe that the Earth is spherical?
That's so funny because I was going to bring up flat Earth earlier.
I mean, because I know that's a pretty unpopular opinion these days, that the Earth is a sphere.
Yeah, everybody knows the Earth is flat, so...
I mean, pretty much most people these days are saying the Earth is kind of like egg-shaped.
Egg-shaped?
Yeah, it's like a little bit, not quite a perfect sphere.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay, I got you.
So there's that. But, yeah, I just thought flat Earth, that was funny, because, SpaceX had their big Falcon Heavy launch, and then flat earthers were pissed off that they were part of the conspiracy now.
SpaceX is part of the
SpaceX is part of the conspiracy.
Right.
Even though, it's not like SpaceX has launched, 100 other rockets that they had video from where the Earth was round.
Right.
And that, none of those things were problems, but, hey, whatever. But, hey, how about that Falcon Heavy? That was pretty impressive.
Yeah,
everybody said every word that was ever needed to be said about it, but...
I didn't see any footage until YouTube videos later, but yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty
big
achievement.
There's a car in space now.
There is a car in space
now. Why didn't we needed a car in space? Why didn't we already have a fucking car in space?
You'd think that somebody would have done that. It's just, the thing is, those test rocket, flights, you can put anything they want to on them. Because all their, the payload doesn't matter. It just matters that they load the rocket up and make sure it flies.
Yep.
But, I don't know. Tesla, they're like a millennial company.
Well,
they're
Elon Musk is also working on a Hyperloop.
Yeah, that's bullshit, though.
You don't think that's going to happen?
Yeah, you should, people... I mean, I don't know. I might catch some flack for this, but you should probably go find a guy on YouTube called Thunderfoot.
Mm-hmm. I know Thunderfoot.
Oh, okay.
I watched this stuff on the fucking solar powered roadways.
Yeah, solar freaking roadways.
Solar freaking roadways.
Yeah.
And what else has he done? God, he's debunked so many things. But okay, so what about? Elon Musk. He's definitely credible. I mean,
yeah, but Thunderfoot is a nuclear physicist, though. So
yeah.
He's also kind of credible. I mean,
sure, I get that. But what is? Recent news as of yesterday is that they're starting digging a tunnel between DC and Baltimore.
But the issue that Thunderfoot has is the fact that a low pressure vacuum would be completely impossible to maintain over the amount of volume that a Hyperloop tunnel would be.
Yeah. And
the amount of danger that exists there is just unbelievable. His thing is if anything goes wrong at all and the Hyperloop tunnel is damaged in any way, then rapid pressurization of the entire system would cause absolute carnage. You would never ever want to get into it.
Yeah.
It's just you can't it can't be done. It's too dangerous of a concept.
Right.
Even if you could build the facilities to make it happen, which he argues that it wouldn't be possible to maintain the low vacuum that it would require over the amount of size, just due to like expansion and contraction issues and things like that. That it would be pretty much physically impossible to build something of that sort. Just the risks and like the liabilities involved are out of this world,
right? Because
if somebody these things are going to be going over large massive expanses of space. Some goober gets out there with a rifle and shoots at the Hyperloop. I mean,
right.
the thing is, like, railroad tracks are just railroad tracks until a train's going by, right? So you can't really do anything terribly destructive to a railroad track.
Right.
But if you compromise a low pressure vacuum system at any point in it, the entire thing fails.
True.
And it is just, it's like, yeah, it's bad. You should watch his videos on it because he's got like he's got several videos just completely tearing.
I watched several. I watched a lot of Thunderbolt videos about a year ago, and I don't remember what they were all about. I remember Solar Freaking Roadways, but there was a lot of other ones that I watched too. And yeah, I mean, I like his videos, but I haven't seen it. I only heard about the Hyperloop a couple of days ago.
Oh yeah, it's been going on for years, and I've been keeping track of.
But they're apparently starting like progress on it now. So
yeah, it's a weird situation because.
But okay, so let's say a super high speed underground railroad between Washington D.C. and New York City. Maybe it's not under a vacuum, but it goes 250 miles an hour. Is that still not a good idea?
Yeah. I mean, that would be fine. The issue is specifically the vacuum pressure thing. Right. The problem with that is that, like, it's just not practical. It's because what they want is it to be going 600 miles an hour.
Right.
Which is awesome, and like a low pressure vacuum would be the way to do it. But
how do subways keep from compressing air density?
Oh, well, they have clearance around the train itself. It doesn't it's not like perfectly fitted to the tunnel at all.
I just didn't know. I mean, with that much wind resistance in a small space, I don't know how big the Hyperloop tunnels were supposed to be, but
not huge.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be pretty small, but the car.
I mean, but the concept though of getting let's say even if it's an hour from DC to New York, it's supposed to be 28 minutes or something like that.
Right.
But an hour from DC to New York, or an hour and a half, that's still commutable. Like, your wife works in DC, you work in New York, you jump on the Hyperloop, you're at work in an hour to an hour and a half, and you can work while you're on the train.
But it's not possible to do it, though.
No, I'm not talking about... I'm saying take the vacuum out of the equation, and it's going to be much slower, of course.
Well, but the way to do it then would be to just build maglevs. Or just traditional high-speed rail.
Right.
We could just call up Japan or Germany or any of the other places that have high-speed rails.
How fast to the bullet trains and
maglevs are over like 200 and something miles per hour.
Yeah.
The traditional rail bullet trains that they have in Japan and Germany has a bullet train system. Those are over like 150 or so. I think the maglev's like 230 or 240 or something like that.
So why don't we have that here?
Because it's expensive. It's expensive, and America is not a railway culture.
Yeah, but can you imagine like those places that you normally fly to, like very, very high volume flights? And like there's a flight from every freaking airport in the United States to New York City. So at least let's have like Atlanta to New York. So you get on your flight. You get on your flight from you want to go to New York. You get on your flight from Little Rock to Atlanta, which you're already gonna do, and then you get on the maglev or whatever it's called, and it shoots you the rest of the way to New York. I mean, it makes a lot of sense to me because
they're expensive though.
Yeah,
and we're not a railroad culture. The thing is, like, when planes happened, then America was like, we're plane people.
You said
now.
It's expensive, but is it more expensive once it's up and running than jet fuel and flying a plane? once it's done, the infrastructure is done and it's up and running.
Maglevs are expensive enough that there's only a couple of them in existence from any country ever.
Why are they so expensive?
Because the actual track itself is ludicrously expensive. Because it's the entire track is a massive, electromagnetic, thing. Mm-hmm. It's just a series of electromagnetic, grids, mm-hmm. coils all the way across the entire thing. It requires a lot of support.
You're saying to build them, they cost a lot.
Yes.
How much do they cost to operate?
They're probably not that expensive to operate, but they're so expensive to build.
Right.
That it's hard to get greenlit on those projects because they're so expensive up front.
Right.
And you look at governments and budgets and all that kind of thing, it's just like they're not going to spend that kind of money to build one.
Yeah.
And so that's a problem. High-speed rails, like traditional high-speed rails, are not that expensive. I mean, you could probably adapt much of our existing rail system to be high-speed compatible. The issue with America's rail system is that it was built in a time when high-speed rail wasn't a thing, mm-hmm. and we weren't thinking about it. So you would have to bank turns in places where turns are not banked at all.
Right.
Because you can't hit them at, over certain speeds or you'll derail.
Right.
So a lot of work would need to be done to our existing rail system to try to adapt it to high speed. But I think that's actually a pretty practical idea to try to just update our existing rail system to be compatible with high-speed trains.
Right.
And start offering high-speed rail. But the problem is that America is not a train culture.
Right.
We don't care about trains. We've never invested any money in trains, and nobody wants to take a train anywhere.
Yeah.
And it's like a self-feeding cycle where nobody wants to go on a train because trains are shit. But trains are shit because nobody.
I thoroughly enjoyed our Amtrak trip.
Well, sure, but it took us 27 hours to go to New Orleans.
No, it took 9 hours to get to New Orleans, and we had our own cabin, and it was a fun time. We went to eat on the train.
Yeah, it was a good time. Cool, but we don't care about that shit. We want to get to where we're going, right? That's our culture. And whenever planes came around and were a quick way to do that, then that became the way that we travel. So culturally, nobody wants to get on a train because we all know that trains are bullshit. But the thing is, trains don't have to be bullshit, but it feeds itself. Nobody wants to pay for a train ticket because they know it's going to be bullshit, and therefore train companies don't have any money to build high-speed rails.
Is there an Amtrak from here to Florida?
I don't know.
To what do you call it? Orlando?
I don't know. Is there? I don't know.
The reason I ask is because if it's as feasible as driving, I prefer not to drive. But I'm not buying 3 plane tickets to go down to Orlando. Sorry.
And I would fly.
Well, I mean, you can fly if you want. Yeah. I've got to drive because I'm not paying for 3 plane tickets.
Yeah, man, planes though, they're sweet.
Yeah, it's like 14-hour drive.
Yeah,
that's twice the distance from here to. That's 5 hours longer than from here to Indianapolis, and you drive that all the time.
Yeah, but I don't like it.
Why don't you fly?
Because I need my truck while I'm in Indianapolis.
We need a vehicle while we're in Orlando.
Not necessarily. But I mean, that's a separate issue. I mean, that just depends on other circumstances. Are you staying on site? If you're not, then yes, you need a vehicle.
Right.
If you are staying on site, you don't need one.
but we're not staying on site.
Yeah.
We can't stay on site.
Yeah.
We can't afford an $800 a night hotel.
Well, that's true. But hey, you know what, guys? I'm glad that you've stayed here to talk about the financial talk with our vacation plans.
It's been a good with the new format or the new old format, I guess you could call it, because this is what we used to do back when it was a Let's Play. We played a game, but didn't really talk about the game. We just talked about bullshit, and that's what we like.
We're trying to. What we want to do is basically just do kind of like a podcast while playing the games.
Yeah.
So that's what we're striving for here, and let us know if it worked out. We don't know. We don't know anything. We don't know what we're doing.
Okay. I had more fun tonight, and that's all that really matters because. That's what we're doing this for.
Right.
Us. We're doing this for us. We don't really care if you watch. So.
Yeah.
But, if you want to be fans, then, we'll support you and be loyal to you fans. But, we're mainly doing this for our own pleasure. So.
Right. So with that, just make sure that you always remember, presented by Capcom USA.
Yeah. And hey, that's just a shoot, bro.
Yeah,
I jump and shoot, bro.
Thanks for watching.